Welcome, everyone, to Zia Diplomacy, where I bring to you news regarding New Mexico. Today, we're going to be going over post election drama. We're going to be looking at which counties voted for who and the percentage of the votes and the amount of votes tallied. So, if you don't know who I am, I cover news relevant to New Mexico, and that's usually going to be border news or anything related to international conflict. So, right now we're going to be looking at Politico. Kamala Harris wins New Mexico. Yes, she did win New Mexico by 51.9% over Trump's 45.9%. Okay. So, let's get into it. We have the states over here on top that obviously voted pretty blue. Pretty blue. I mean, the states, the counties. And then over here, down here, we have Cruces. And I believe this is Grants going going blue. We have way more counties that went red over counties that went blue. And obviously, because of the population in these northern areas, gave Kamala the win. Otherwise, I believe it would be a different story. Albeit, let's get into it. Okay. Santa Fe County went Kamala 61,405 over Trump's 20,457. That's Kamala 73.3% over Trump's 24.4 in Santa Fe County. We have San Miguel County. Kamala Harris 6,985 over Trump's 3,887. That's Kamala at 62.9% over Trump's 35.0%. Mora. Shout out to Mora. You'll have beautiful forest up there. Kamala Harris, 1,439%, 39 votes over Donald Trump's 1,010. That's Kamala's 57.9% over Trump's 40.6%. We do San Miguel. Rio Arriba. Kamala, 9,373%. Votes over Trump's 6,268. That's Kamala, 58.6% over Trump's 39.2. Forgive me if I do one county twice or if I miss a county. I want to get through this because we also have to get into a little bit of border reporting and drama on X. Okay. Good old Albuquerque, Bernalillo County, Kamala, 184,117 over Trump's 762 votes. That's Kamala at 59.2% over Donald Trump's 38.2%. I'm surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised that Donald Trump had a lot of votes here, but I'm surprised that the Dems didn't win by much, much more. Okay. And by the way, I am politically homeless, but I did vote for Trump. Yeah, Latinos for Trump. I said it. Okay. Cibola, 4,450 votes over Donald Trump's 4,311. That's 49.6% for Kamala over Trump's 48%. Whoa, close. Too close to call. I'm not sure if I did San Miguel. Let's do San Miguel. 6,985 over Trump's 3,887. That's 62.9% over Donald Trump's 35%. Cruces. Obviously, Cruces was going to go blue. No pasa nada, Cruces. We love you. And despite the results, people, we're still New Mexicans, and we're in this together. Um, you know, there might be tension right now between the two parties and among our public, but we have to remember that we're still in this together. We all love this state. This state is amazing. Um, they say last in education, but I say first in aesthetics. Whatever. Anyways, Doña Ana County, Kamala Harris, 45,937 over Trump's 37,594. That's 53.8% Kamala over Trump's 44%. Okay. So we covered most of the, oh yeah, we have to do Los Alamos County, 7,726 for Kamala over Donald Trump's 4,047. That's 63.4% Kamala over Trump's 33.2%. I'm not sure if we did McKinley, but McKinley has Kamala at 15,711 over Donald Trump's 9,364. Kamala 60.7% over Donald Trump's 36.2. I am excited. I am excited for the change that's going to be coming out from Donald Trump's administration. Albeit, I do think that hard times are coming for everyone. I do think he's going to inherit a very problematic situation going on in the world. And for New Mexico, that problematic situation might not be crime, might not be poverty, might not be uh, the fact that Donald Trump came to Rio Rancho or came to the Albuquerque Sunport and spoke. It's going to be the border. We share the border with two Mexican states. Okay. This is a big deal, but I will get into that later. Okay. Anyways, shout out to Hidalgo, 1,140 Trump over Kamala 705. That's 61.2% Trump over Kamala's 37.9. We have Donald Trump in Luna County, 4,698 over Kamala Harris's 3,176. That's 58.3% over Kamala's 39.4. Otero at 15,117 over Kamala's 8,582. Pretty much double. Donald Trump at 62.4% over Kamala's 35.4. Eddie. Oh, Eddie County, I love y'all. Donald Trump, shout out to y'all. That's home. That's not home, but that's close to home. Donald Trump, 18,141 votes over Kamala Harris's 5,032. That's Donald Trump at 77.3% over Kamala's 21.4. Wow. That's pretty much all the Latinos in the oil field that voted right here. Shout out to y'all. Lee, more Latinos in the oil field. Shout out to y'all. Donald Trump, 16,997 over Kamala's 3,930. That's Donald Trump at 80.1% over Kamala's 18.5 in Lee County. So we pretty much have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counties that border Mexico that voted for Trump. I wonder why that is. And we have one county that voted for Kamala. And of course, it's a city. It's because of the city. But, anyways, not trying to get into any border debates here right now. Shout out to Chavez. That's home. That is home. Donald Trump, 15,894 over Kamala's 5,941. That's 71.6 Trump and 26.8% Kamala. Curry, Donald Trump, 10,714 over Kamala's 4,230. That's Donald Trump at 70.4% over Kamala's 27.8. Shout out to y'all. Socorro. Oh, Socorro. I love y'all. Donald Trump. at 3,651 over Kamala's 3,384. Donald Trump 50.5% over Kamala's 46.8%. Socorro asked for socorro, for auxilio. And Donald Trump came and delivered with 50.5%. Shout out to Socorro voters. Torrance, Donald Trump 4,880 over Kamala Harris's 2,144. That's 68% Donald Trump and 29.9% Kamala. Chavez. Oh yeah, San Juan went Donald Trump, went pro Donald Trump with 34,264 over Kamala's 17,464. That's Donald Trump at 64.7% over Kamala's 33.0%. Colfax, oh, I love y'all, Colfax. 3,252 over Kamala Harris's 2,436. That's Donald Trump at 55.9% over Kamala's 41.9. Harding, you know what? Harding, as little as y'all are in population, y'all had such a big impact. How? Why? I do not know. But y'all had an impact. Look, 297 votes over Kamala's 128. That means 68.9% went Trump and 29.7% went Kamala. Why is this a big impact? Because these counties right here that, in a sense, border these counties, they can be influenced heavily. And they weren't this time. Okay, so we have Quay at 2,570 over Kamala's 1,055. That's Donald Trump 69.4% over Kamala's 28.5%. Okay, Valencia went straight Trump. This is a similar case with Harding and Valencia, even though Valencia has much more of a population, but they can be heavily influenced by these blue counties. Donald Trump, 19,057 over Kamala's 13,609. That's Trump at 57.3% over Kamala's 40.9. Okay. Sorry if I skipped you, Sierra. 3,473 over Kamala's 2,332. That's 58.3 Trump, Kamala 39.2. Moving on to the Senate. And this is where things go a little bit south for us that voted for Trump. In a way, Martin Heinrich, shout out to Martin Heinrich, wins New Mexico Senate seat. Like I said, we're all New Mexicans. You know, there's no need to talk down on each other. Okay, 55.1 Heinrich and Domenici at 44.9. That means Heinrich received 497,333 votes over Nella Domenici's 405,973 votes. Loco. Oh yeah, let's check out how much votes tallied for. Okay. Kennedy, okay. Donald Trump, 423,391 at Kamala Harris's 478,802. That's Kamala winning of a 51.9% over Donald Trump's 45.9. Wild. Okay. Let's go to the House. Okay, so Stansbury beats Jones 193,203 over Jones's 149,546. That's Stansbury with a 56.4% victory over Jones's 43.6. This is the one that's interesting. New Mexico 2nd District, because it has to deal with the border. And obviously, I was pulling for Harrell. I do believe with Harrow would be way better in the sense of border security. But at the same time, you know, I'm not. It's hard to say. Um, Vasquez wins with 138%, 138,177 votes over Harrow's 127,145. That's Vasquez with the 52.1% victory over Harrow's 47.9. Close. Leger Fernandez, 162,342 over, I don't know this name. I'm very sorry. I cannot say this name. Over this Republican candidate in the 3rd district. Leger beat this Republican candidate by 162,342 over 126,085 votes. That's Leger at 56.3% over the Republican candidate's 43.7%. Okay. So, interesting times. Nothing really changed besides the fact that it was like this in the previous election. More counties went for Trump than for Biden or Kamala. It's just a matter of population. Okay. Let's go into some chisme. Let's see what's going on in the world of chisme. We did this. So on next, we have Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. Let's see if we have any updates. November 29th, don't forget to choose main. Okay, that's does not pertain to politics at all. Okay, November 29th, every day 53 million caregivers in the U.S. provide complex care. I was honored to speak at the Caregiver Nation Summit in D.C., sharing my experience. We must keep pushing for long-term reform to support aging Americans, those with disabilities, and caregivers. All right. We will not look at the comments because y'all can just imagine what the comments will say. Okay, we're going to keep going. Okay, low-income families in need of help with heating and cooling costs may apply for New Mexico's Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. Yes.nm.gov, yes. Also, if you were affected by the flood in Roswell, get into it. Go get some aid. This is a message from. Okay, she's in a commercial of U.S. Climate Alliance. It says the climate crisis is real. Okay, that's not too interesting. From the vibrant cultures to the unique, intricate designs, New Mexico takes pride in being home to lowriders, a timeless tradition in our firm. Okay, cool. Yeah, they should be the state car. Why not? Okay. Thank you to CBS News for highlighting New Mexico. Here in New Mexico, we invest in children and families. Really? These investments are why New Mexico rose from 50th to 17th in U.S. in childhood poverty. I did not know that. When we make life easier to the families, we build a better future for everyone. Should we look at this? Let's see. Let's see what she's trying to say.
Welcome back to America Decides. U.S. Customs and Border Protection is reporting a 55% decrease from. Joining me now, the Democratic governor of New Mexico, Michelle Lujan Grisham, otherwise known as the land of enchantment. Not the governor, but the state of New Mexico.
I'll take enchanting governor as well.
Very good.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to see you, Governor. We'll get to some policy things in a minute, but a couple of political questions. First, on election night, as you saw returns come in, were you surprised?
I was surprised. I mean, you want what you want. You believe in what's the best for the country. I fight for that. I work hard for that. I believe in the vice president and thought she ran a really remarkable race. And I think we too readily forget she did that in 107 days. And I'm really proud of that effort. So, of course, if you weren't surprised a little, then you weren't as engaged, I think, in that positivity about Americans are ready for a variety of things and are going to vote against extremism. But
Extremism.
we didn't win. And
Hostia.
I appreciate that we're
Crazy.
having conversations about both parties and sort of the divisive divide. It's divisive between people and the divide between parties in this country.
According to census data, New Mexico, 49% Hispanic and Latino.
Only minority majority state in the country.
Exactly. Vice President Harris carried it by 6
I
points.
hate that.
Joe
I hate
Biden
that
carried it
whole
by
minority
10.
thing.
Did that surprise you? And as you
It's
traveled
such a,
around the state, did you detect
such
a shift?
perspective when it comes
I
to just
was
the United States and
detecting a
not a
shift
global
much
perspective.
earlier on, and I think we all did. People were very concerned about the economy, and you have to drill down. It's not just about jobs and employment, because New Mexico is one of the top economies now per capita in the country, and we have huge employment growth.
Thanks to oil
We've
and
added
gas.
well more than 110,000 jobs, and for a tiny state of 2 million people, that's the
Trump.
largest increase in the history of the state. But you can't use that talking point without recognizing that if people are worried about their mortgages, and they are, and they can't pay for childcare, and their groceries are too high, and their utilities are too high,
And rent and insurance are
all
aggravating.
of it, it's just then that's the issue they
This
must
is not a thing to be
focus
proud
on.
of, New
So
Mexicans,
in my
that we
reelection,
just picked
post-COVID,
two
you can
back-to-back
see this
dems
sentiment is already
because of
present around the country.
loyalty.
And
When you
we
look at
can debate
policies,
about whether we did enough or
cares about the
too
color.
much on one side, but it is an issue that I think we really need to get back to. It's a fundamental political issue. Bread and butter, kitchen table issues, of course, are going to be the primary issues that folks are going to be concerned with.
One of our CBS contributors, a gentleman named Chuck Rocha, and he's thinking about possibly running for the new DNC chair position. Whether he does or not is...
All right, enough of that. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Anything interesting? Oh yeah. So thank you for having me on this morning. Let me be clear. New Mexico will not cooperate with any unlawful or unconstitutional mass deportation plan. Let's see what she has to say. Okay.
Republican Party today isn't moderate, isn't focused on the middle, isn't focused on working class Americans, even if
As if the
folks
blue is.
voted assuming that they would support that agenda. New Mexicans know in this day and age, that's not the case. Democrats in New Mexico, including me, are delivering in that regard. So free childcare, investments in affordable housing, free college,
Wow.
so much
What about the border?
investments in
What about drugs
raising
and fentanyl?
wages
What about
and
crime and alcohol?
opportunities that now New Mexico, because of those investments, went from 50th in child poverty to 17th. So really clearly demonstrating we know how to make a difference in family stability and opportunity. And that's what people want at the end of the day. They don't want extreme positions. They want us to make sure that we're focused there. And we want to make sure that we're not taking away fundamental rights and freedoms. And the state squarely is in the column about making sure that women's rights and reproductive freedoms stay intact.
Governor Shtensaki, you've said that you're not going to help with Donald Trump's aspirations to do mass deportations. I think there are a lot of people out there who are happy to hear that. What can you specifically do to stop his efforts moving forward as once he becomes president?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, as you know, it's unlawful. You can't use the military. You can't do mass deportation. So any federal administration,
All right. I was there for deportations under the Obama administration. I saw it firsthand with my own eyes. It's not a pretty sight. It is not nice. It's not fun. But it is kind of fun whenever they kick out the piece of shit that doesn't deserve to be here because he sexually abuses children. And it's also fun whenever they kick out the pedophile, the drug addict, the cartel member. That's fun. But yeah, I agree. It's not fun whenever people are deported that deserve to be here and worked very hard and in a way left their old life and came and found a new life. This is going to be a big debate here in New Mexico regarding deportations. We saw the biggest deportations under Obama leave the Latino population, in a sense, traumatized. I do believe the Obama administration was messy about it. They kicked out people that deserve to be here. They separated families. They brought in people that had no business being here in the first place, and they were only seeking to just bullshit and be lazy. So it's going to be messy. I hope this time deportations are direct in the sense that they deport people that are pieces of shit and leave the people that are hardworking and have American values alone. They don't even have to have American values. They can just be hardworking. Who cares if they don't love America to the fucking teeth? Who cares? There's literally people that need to be deported here that are committing crimes, that are killing innocent young women, that are trafficking drugs and are part of cartel gangs, that are part of cartel organizations and part of gang related activities. Take them, leave the people, even if they're not all hoorah America, leave them alone.
You should expect states, and I think you should expect some bipartisan support, not just by the Democratic governors, is that violating the Constitution and the law. We're not going to do that. We ought to be working on making sure that violent criminals and criminal activity is stopped everywhere. There isn't a state that isn't interested, whether you're an American citizen or not. And he effectively, Trump, killed the bipartisan border deal. Not the first time that he's done that. We need more agents. We need more collective effort so that we're bringing border security and holding people accountable where they are. Disrupting family status and the economy, inhumane, cruel, unfair, discriminate policies that, again, are illegal on their face. We are not going to cooperate in any way in that effort.
So, Governor, let's get your response to something else that the president-elect has proposed, which is eliminating the Department of Education. If that were to happen, what sort of impact?
Okay, that's enough of that. All right, so yeah, we're gonna get into deportation stuff much more. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's get into it real quick. I have an opinionated response regarding deportations just because I've seen them firsthand. It's hard. It's hard to see and it's hard to be around. But the thing is that deportations do help immigrant communities. You know, there's people that come with the caravans that are pieces of shit and they do not deserve to be here. And we need to, as New Mexicans, if we're going to be an immigrant family state, which is, if we're going to be one of the only ones, we might as well do it right in the sense that let's keep the immigrant families safe and deport people that are committing crimes. So I'm not really sure how to go about this in a peaceful way. I don't think there's no peaceful way. I do believe the Dems in New Mexico want to be as loose as possible when it comes to these moral and ethical conundrums. But I do believe that the Dems also will realize that they have to be a little bit more secure on the border, which is why, in a sense, that it's debatable whether Gabe Vasquez is hard on the border or not, because he's also been pro-commerce and pro-trade with New Mexico. And that's because Texas, in a sense, has a tense moment with Mexico right now in the sense of commerce and trade. So it might be that Mexico is just looking to New Mexico for commerce and trade under Vasquez. It could be good, it could be not. It could be good if the border's secure, and it could be not if the border is unsecure, which is what is happening right now. That's all debatable. Whatever. We'll get into that later. Right now, I have the New Mexico political report, and we're going to go into this article. It says, not only draconian, immoral, New Mexico legislators advocates talk Trump deportation plans. Okay. I wonder if these, I do remember that Obama had a tense moment with Jorge Ramos when Jorge Ramos called him the deporter in chief. That was amazing. But I do think that, like, irregardless of who's president, the federal government comes hard. It can be the most loving president. The federal government comes hard when it comes to illegal immigration, regardless of who's in office, sadly. So, yeah. Perhaps the most vilified population in the United States during the first Trump administration were immigrants. This vilification is only rising. I think the vilification that Trump did was against the Dems. Globally interested elite Dems, I believe, were the first villains of Trump. This vilification is only rising. Trump plans to declare a national emergency as a means to use military assets to prosecute mass deportations of undocumented immigrants, but state officials and local organizations are organizing a response. Immigration advocacy groups. Perhaps the most, okay, yeah, we read that. Immigration advocacy groups, Somos un Pueblo Unido, El Centro de Igualdad y Derecho, the Santa Fe Dreamers Project, the Semilla Project, and the New Mexico Immigrant Law Center held a press conference with New Mexico Speaker of the House, Javier Martinez, November 22nd at the state capitol. They spoke about the work and what could come from a second Trump presidency regarding immigrants, both documented and undocumented. I am blessed. Okay, whatever. We know that our immigrant community is essential to our workforce. We know that it is incredibly essential to our economy and our communities. Martinez said, what will happen to the oil and gas industry if we mass deport millions of people? What will happen to New Mexico's agriculture economy? First of all, I don't think millions of people work in the oil and gas industry that are Latino. I believe it's a mixture. I do think that oil and gas industry workers will not be targeted or directed because they have learned skilled labor, and that is not easy to substitute, to replace. Martinez added that the proposed immigration policies are not only draconian, they will create a humanitarian crisis, in my opinion. They are immoral, as if not there's not a humanitarian crisis going on already. The allegation that the people from Central and South America contributed to the fentanyl and opioid crisis. Okay. I challenge the federal government to maybe start checking work with big 18-wheelers that come across the border with a big Walmart stamp on it, because that's probably where it's coming from. Yet we have been made the scapegoat. Our communities have been made the scapegoat, not only much to my frustration, as you can tell, but my deep embarrassment. Okay. In New Mexico, immigrants represent 10% of New Mexico's population, 13% of its workforce. Somos un Pueblo Unido Citizenship Coordinator, Zulema Chavero. Okay, everyone, look. There's obviously going to be tension here. I'm going to finish off with this. There's going to be tension. I will, myself, having helped undocumented immigrants learn a little bit of English and provide some advice on how to live in the United States. And haters going to hate. They can hate me if they want. But I've done clips, edits through CapCut on how families that are scared can protect themselves. What can they do to find help? I've done this. Does that mean I'm pro pedophiles being in the United States that cross illegally? No. Get those people out. Fuera. But for those that are interested in help, sometimes these advocate groups can help you and sometimes they cannot. Sometimes the line is too long. Sometimes the fee is too high. Unfortunately. But regardless, we are all New Mexicans and we all need to help and support each other. Unless you're a piece of shit. All right. Everyone, that is it from me today. Thank you. Ciao.